Around this time of year, you either get tricked or treated. As Giants fans, we've been nothing but tricked and bamboozled this entire season. But we did receive a treat. What is going on, guys? What's going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video, and just discussing the recent news that happened about a day ago, and Leonard Williams being traded to the Seattle Seahawks for a pretty good price. Leonard Williams was sent to the Seattle Seahawks for a second-round pick in this year's draft, and also a 2025 fifth-round pick. Now, this didn't come easy for the Giants, as they had to pay the rest of his salary at $9 million to help them get that second-round pick, while Seattle only has to pay around $600,000 for the rest of the season for Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams is supposed to be on the third year of his 4-year contract, but for whatever reason, it's voided out. Maybe it was an option year for him. You guys that know more about contracts can tell me in the comment section below. Either way, the Giants got a pretty good deal for Leonard Williams. A second-round pick for a D tackle that is 30 years old is pretty damn good. Now, he was making about $30 million this year. Seems like the Giants paid that in full, but still was able to dump the contract and kind of get something in return for it, as opposed to just letting Leonard Williams walk and possibly picking up a compensational pick. Now, Leo wasn't a scrub at all, but just wasn't worth the $30 million he was making this season, and he was a pretty damn good run stuffer, very good pass rusher from the interior, had 1 year, 2 years ago with 11.5 sacks from the interior, and he worked extremely well with Dexter Lawrence. In fact, they are like best friends on and off the field. It's great to see, love the chemistry. It sucks to see him go. It sucks to see a player like that leave the facility, someone that was well liked in the locker room.
Mom made pizza rolls.
What?
All right, one last try.
Mommy
made pizza rolls.
Mommy gonna beat your butt.
Now, to compare this with other trades that happened today, we look at our rival in the NFC East, and that is the Washington Commanders, who traded 2 of their pass rushers, as well as they traded Chase Young for a 2024 third-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers, and Montez Sweat to the Chicago Bears for a 2024 second-round pick. Now, if you put those two together, a second-round pick and a third-round pick is pretty damn good and is better than a second and fifth. But if you look at the details of it, if you really look into it, Leonard Williams is 30 years old. He's 29 going on 30. He's a defensive tackle, and the fact that we were able to pull more in one player than any of the Washington players, that tells me we got more value out of it. Now, I'm really shocked that Chicago, a rebuilding team as the Giants are going to be buyers and buy in to Montez Sweat, who is on the last year of his 5th-year option, the last year of his rookie contract, playing on the 5th-year option for a second-round pick. That is pretty crazy. And Chase Young, this was definitely a good move for San Francisco, only giving up a third-round pick for a guy like Chase Young who can be impactful right away. He's on the last year of his deal too, but San Francisco is trying to win it all this year. So I say Joe Schoen did a pretty damn good job dealing with Leonard Williams. Now, I criticized him in the beginning of the year, talking about Leonard Williams and his contract and why haven't we restructured him, extended him, kind of spread out the money, or even traded him before that point. But it seemed like Joe Schoen knew exactly what he was doing, and that is why I am not a GM. Obviously, if the Giants were in better circumstances, we probably won't see a Leonard Williams trade. Like, if the Giants were right now at a good record and in the playoff hunt, I'm sure probably Leonard Williams sticks around to the end of the year, and we're not really worrying about draft picks at the moment. But at this time, he was the guy, the number one guy you should circle to try to get some compensation out of. The next guy would have been probably an Adoree Jackson, which I'm confused why we didn't deal him, or even other players for that matter. I thought the Giants would be a lot more of sellers than just Leonard Williams. You know, they traded Leonard Williams a day before the trade deadline, and here I am thinking around the trade deadline we are going to actually deal some more players out, try to pick up some late round picks here and there, a couple 5th and 6th, just to kind of gain as much as we can going into this draft. But that wasn't the case. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a GM. I'm not going to pretend like I know more than Joe Schoen. I'm just going to wait and see how it works out. But we picked up 2 more picks. Now, what does the roster look like without Leonard Williams, and how is the defensive line rotation going to go without him in the lineup? Well, for the 53-man roster, obviously with him being traded opens up a spot, and the Giants promoted Tommy DeVito, their quarterback who they do not trust to throw the ball. they promoted him to the active roster, being that 53rd player, taking Leonard Williams' spot. And to take Tommy DeVito's spot on the practice squad was quarterback Matt Barkley. Now, I know Matt Barkley is a new signing, but I probably would have preferred him on the 53-man roster just because he is familiar with the Daboll's play calling and Daboll's playbook. So I would hope that Matt Barkley would probably be a better option, and you would hope that if you needed your backup quarterback, Barkley would be one to trust to throw. Now, Barkley is a name. Matt Barkley isn't a name I had really heard of in relevancy since like 2011, 2012, when he was like, an Eagles player. But that's all I heard about Matt Barkley. I know he's played with the Buffalo Bills. He's familiar with Brian Daboll's system. I would hope that he's better than Tommy DeVito right now, but it is what it is. They're going to promote Tommy DeVito instead. How does this look for the defensive line rotation? A'Shawn Robinson is probably going to get a lot more playing time. He's going to step in and start in that role next to Dexter Lawrence in place of Leonard Williams. We see A'Shawn Robinson, who is a very good, solid player, on those 3 defensive lineman sets when the Giants run their base 4-3 with 3 defensive linemen. And I assume that now he is going to be even in those 2 defensive lineman sets that we are usually in. And you're going to see a lot more of like Nacho, who has been good in rotation, and a guy that I'm excited about who's been a healthy scratch for the majority of the season. In fact, probably every game besides about 2. And that is Jordan Riley, the rookie defensive tackle out of Oregon. He had a spectacular preseason and training camp for a 7th round pick who nobody thought would be any good. He started working with the first team. He was pretty damn good in rotation, and he plays, I thought, a decent game against Dallas. I didn't think it was too bad. Not enough for him to be inactive for all these games in place of DJ Davidson, who I don't think is that good anyway. But hopefully with Leonard Williams being gone, Jordan Riley can step in and actually be promoted to the active roster, who he is on the active roster, but actually suit up for a game and get some playing time. But that's all I got for you guys today. What do you guys think in the comment section below? Let me know. Do you guys like the trade? Do you guys hate the trade? Do you guys like the idea of rebuilding? Or are you like me, where it's just like, hey, I don't want to rebuild, but we kind of have to? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.